Processor selection for an embedded systems. Processor is the one of the core component of the embedded system. While choosing that processor, we need to consider different parameters. First one is performance. Performance means maximum speed we need to provide while performing the operation. In that point of view, we need to check whatever the processor we are choosing that provides that much of performance. So in the processor, we are considering some features. One is processor architecture that supports the Harvard architecture. Harvard architecture in the sense that contains separate buses. So at a time, we can access instructions and data, thereby reducing the fetching time. So automatically execution time reduces. So performance increases. Second, instruction set architecture. So if it is RISC instruction set architecture that supports orthogonal instruction set, means we can use any one of the register and addressing mode to design the feature to perform the task, and it contains limited number of instructions. It occupies less silicon usage, so no need of decoder logic circuits. These are the benefits. We can improve the performance. Next, is it supporting the pipelining technique? Means parallelly performing multiple operations. Means at a time we can fetch the instruction, decode the other instruction, execute the another instruction. So parallelly we are performing fetching, decoding, executing. So we can reduces the execution time hereby. Without pipelining, if you are taking 15 cycles for 5 instructions, with pipelining, we can take only 7 cycles. So we are reducing the 15 cycles to 7 cycles. So execution time reduces, automatically performance increases. We can check our processor supports the pipelining or not. That is either 3-stage pipelining, 5, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 stages nowadays. So as the number of stages increases, automatically execution time reduces, that leads to improve the performance. So we can check which type of pipelining technique it will support. Next, we can check the evaluation techniques or fabrication techniques, that is either CMOS, PMOS, NMOS, which type of fabrication the processor is fabricated. So we can use CMOS nowadays, that improves the maximum performance. Next, we can check cache memory. As the cache memory more means we can fetch more data. So fastly we can access RAM. So a fast accessing in the sense reducing the accessing time, improving the speed. Next, we can check the clock frequency of the processor. So frequency F equal to 1 by T. As the frequency increases, the time required for executing one instruction will be reduces. So as the clock frequency increases, execution time reduces, automatically performance increases. So we can choose maximum clock frequency. Example, TM4C123 GH6PM that contains 80 megahertz clock frequency. So these are the parameters we can check to check the performance. Processor architecture, instruction set architecture, pipelining techniques, evaluation techniques, and cache memory, clock frequency. You can check in the terms of performance. Next, power consumption. As the clock frequency increases, the fast charging and discharging, that takes fast charging, fast discharging. So it takes power consumption. So to reduce this power consumption, we can use frequency scaling. And nowadays, the latest processors coming with different oscillators like digital control oscillator for high-speed applications, for generating high-frequency signals, or VCO, voltage control oscillator, for generating low-frequency oscillators, low-frequency signals. Like that, it contains individual oscillators for generating corresponding frequency, either low frequency, medium frequency, high frequency. We can use these ones to reduce this fast charging and discharging, thereby reducing the power consumptions. Next, code length also affect the power considerations. If the code length is small, means that contains less execution time, so power consumption also reduces. As the code length increases, execution time increases. Also, we require more power to execute that instructions. That's why code length also we need to choose minimum. And we have different low power modules. Nowadays, the coming process come up with various low power modules, low power mode 0, or real time clock mode, RAM retention mode. So that means we can disable unnecessary components to avoid the unnecessary power consumptions. Suppose while performing DMA operations, CPU is not required, so we can disable CPU. So whatever the power consumed by the CPU, we are stopping here. So we are saving the CPU power consumption, whatever the power consumed by the CPU. Like that, disable the unnecessary components by disabling corresponding modules that we call low power modes. Low power mode 0, low power mode 1, low power mode 2, low power mode 3, low power mode 3.5, like that. Particular mode, we can, suppose we are disabling all the peripherals because we are not using. So the power consumption may be 0.1 microamperes. If you are using all these peripherals, the power consumption may be 165 microamperes. So check the difference, 0.1 microampere, 165 microampere. So we need to choose the processor that supports the various low power modes or not. Similarly, wake up modules are available or not, or hibernation modules available or not. If it's supporting, means we can disable the unnecessary components by using the low power mode, or by disabling VCO, voltage control oscillator, digital control oscillators. So we can save the power, improve the battery life. Next, desired peripherals are available in the processor, on-chip peripherals. On-chip memory range, 1 MB is sufficient for our application. If it available means no problem. So like that, we can check the desired memory, desired peripherals, DMA. It contains on-chip DMA or not, on-chip analog digital converter or not, on-chip real-time clock availability or not, on-chip watchdog timer is there or not, on-chip reset circuit is available or not, or on-chip debugging tools like JTAG, serial wire debug, like that. We can check the processor having the on-chip desired peripherals or not. If it is available, means no need to use additional peripherals. We can no need to purchase external peripherals. So save that cost No need to access the external. So accessing time reduces automatically. We can improve that is the best for processor choosing. Next, operating voltages. So the application voltage or operating voltage are same, means 5 volts or 3.3 volts. It is easy to operate. Next, specialized processing units. Some of the availability are not. So some of the processors may contains graphical units to perform the graphical operations like ARM, MALI or OpenGL, Power VX. So if the features are available, we can perform multimedia operations without requiring additional peripherals. By using this one, we can perform multimedia operations. Similarly, digital signal processing units like 16 by 16 multiplexer, 32 by 32 adder circuit. So hardware execution is always faster than the software execution. So our processor having the hardware circuits to perform addition or multiplication like that. If the processor contains hardware circuit for adding the numbers, so hardware execution is more speed than the instructions execution. So in the digital signal processor, like multimedia applications, satellites, we are using this one. Like Texas Instruments, they did digital signal process, TMS 320 C6713B. So check it once. Our processor having the on-chip digital signal processor units like 32 by 32 multiplexer or 16 by 16 adder circuits. Next, cost. So for our application, the processor cost is valid or not. Suppose we are designing ATM cards. You can use basic microcontrollers like 8051. Its cost is around 65 rupees, 8089 C51. Or if you are using the Intel Core i5 processor, its cost is 9,000. So check the cost. Our application, is it require basic controller is sufficient or require Core i5 processor? So our product cost is a basic mobile cost is 1,000 rupees. So if you are purchasing a 9,000 Core i5 processor, how it is valid? Means it is workout. So cost also we can check based on our application product cost. We can choose corresponding processor cost. Our applications have basic microcontroller is within 50 rupees. We are getting the processor controller. So we can purchase the product with we can buy the product with limited cost 1,000 rupees or 500 rupees. Or in Hyderabad FMs, the FM cost is 100 rupees only. If you are using 1,000 rupees product cost, 9,000 Core i5 processor, how it is possible to sell the products with 100 rupees? So we can check the price. Price is important. So is it within the cost or not? So these are the parameters we can choose while choosing the processor for designing the embedded systems. First, performance. Next, power considerations, availability of desired peripherals or not, operating voltages, specialized processing units, digital signal processors, and price.